Hey, everybody. We are really excited to be here with Atia Black from Method. And Method is one of our partners in the partner program at Dentist Advisors. And today, as we talk a little bit about being interested in saving money and supplies and understanding procurement and having let's call it a method behind the madness of ordering supplies. It is something that we are all involved in, so much so that I think we forget, like, hey, there's some potential for organization and savings here. And that's where Method comes into play. And Atia and her team have provided so many tools on the dentistadvisors.com site, as well as we do continuing education with them. We're really excited to take 30 minutes and have Atia review Method with you and their business and the model and some opportunities. So Atia, so good to be with you.
Thank you, Spencer. I always love to be with you guys too. I know we're definitely aligned in how can we help our practices streamline systems, use data, and just overall be successful as a practice by creating systems and processes. So it's always nice to be with you guys as well. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Thanks for being with us, Atia. Looking forward to seeing your deck and digging in a little bit here today. So as Atia is pulling that deck up, like I said, feel free to reach out on this Facebook Live that is posted. And as Atia walks through this, we'll explain at the end on how to reach out to her and Method and touch base on some of these questions.
Awesome. Thanks. Can you see my
Perfect.
screen okay? All right, great. Just want to make sure that we're all seeing the right things. Okay, awesome. So today we're going to talk about the future of dental procurement. We're on the second half of 2024, believe it or not. It's crazy. Going into the store, they have Christmas decorations. It's not even Halloween. It's that time of year. So a lot of us are starting to go through budgets and, what's going on in 2025. So the future of dental procurement, what every practice needs to know for 2025 and beyond, is what we're going to talk through today. So first of all, let's talk about the rise of digital procurement platforms. There's a lot of them. Spencer, have you seen them? How many have you seen?
Of all of these right here that you have listed?
Of the procurement platforms, how many do you think there are? In dental.
Atia, I don't know how many there are. I don't know.
Yeah, there's quite a few.
So many. I was just gonna say more than 10.
Yes. And they honestly, we hear about a new one, every couple of months because it's something that we need. So the rise in digital procurement platforms is coming to dentistry. And Method was founded in 2018 because we understood the need and took a lot of time to build our data because data is important to us and the data structure of it. But according to Planet DDS, they had a report that they sent out that said over 60 dental practices will have shifted to dental procurement by 2025. That's a pretty significant amount, more than half. So I want to urge your doctors, if you haven't at least looked at a procurement platform, you might be behind the curve. Let's get you in front of somebody. We partner with you guys because we're really focused on the data and power and using that to be, informed is important. But more importantly, just go look at what's out there. See what you can find. 60% of dental practices will have shifted to dental procurement in 2025. Okay. So the advantages of that is it's going to give you real-time pricing comparisons. It's going to make your ordering automated, makes that process so much easier, and then increased visibility and transparency into the pricing and into what your practice is purchasing. So I want to share a quick case study of a dental practice that successfully implemented digital dental procurement. Last year, Rose and Rose, they're one of our early adopters. They implemented Method. And by Q2 of this year, they had saved $8,200. So last week, I knew we were coming on. I knew I was meeting with you here, and I went back and looked at their data. They are on track to save $14,000 this year. So it's consistent over time, and that's going to be significant as they're working with your advisors. What are they going to do with that $14,000 that can then help them build real wealth and focus towards what their ultimate end goal is? It it doesn't seem like a ton, like 5 cents here, 10 cents here, but as it starts to add up and then you invest it in places, it can become quite a bit of money. So there's a lot of value here, and we recommend at least looking at one.
Yeah.
So next, companies using data-driven procurement save up to 15% annually. This is a statistic that was sent back in 2017. So this is a little bit older. However, I want to point out Method customers save between 15 and 30% and average is about 20. So if you don't know where you're at or what you can save, Method has a savings calculator. It's on the Dentist Advisors website. It looks similar to this down in the bottom right. You're just going to plug in your information and it's going to populate what you could be saving, maybe some spots where you need to focus. And that's going to help you start to use that information to make better purchasing decisions in your practice to then get that $14,000 savings to kick back with Dentist Advisors. So the power of data-driven decision-making is really important. And one of the reasons that we have partnered with Dentist Advisors is because they love the data that we're able to provide. And Spencer, I want to give you a chance to talk through a little bit about what your advisors like with our data and what they see and how they use it.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody that is watching this from a Dentist Advisors client knows that data is key for making decisions, and then I would also add to that the organization of the practice is a direct component to that as well, that allows decision making. And as you and advisors are looking at year over year, month over month, or overall growth in general, or perhaps making some tweaks in the business to increase one of those, the opportunity in saving money and supplies via procurement is real. And so the reporting aspect of it is what helps fine tune everything that I just said.
Yeah, exactly. And we love working with your advisors because they know how to dig into that data. And then when they don't, they kick it to us and say, hey, take a look. We need some more savings here. They're at, 15% on supplies. They need to get down to 8, down to 6, ideally. How can we help them do that? And then Method can help them implement and take action. So some of the benefits of the analytics that we have is it can help them optimize their supply chain by identifying cost saving opportunities. We have the ability to do a cost comparison across suppliers. So if you were to take your order and compare, if I had bought all these products from one supplier versus another one, what did or could I have saved? We were working with a practice who loved a rep that they were working with. They didn't want to switch their rep, but they wanted to know what that relationship cost them. They started using Method, made the purchases. We did the cost comparison for them, and it was $11,000 annually that it was costing them to work with that one supplier. It was worth it to them. They loved the customer support that they got, but understanding what that value is important. And then if you needed to start cutting costs, that's a great place to start cutting them. Is okay, now we can shift this somewhere else. But without having the data, without knowing it, you can't really, without the reporting, you can't really make those decisions. And so we love working with dentist advisors because they are able to help us dive into the data with their practices.
Yes.
We have the ability to do a practice snapshot to show you areas where you're at and where you were the previous 90 days. And then we also have some key statistic that you can see where you compare and understand, okay, this is where we are at, this is where we were, this number is getting bigger and we want it to get lower, or this number is getting lower and we want it to get bigger. And then what's the average, so that you can understand where we at and where do we want to focus to make those changes in our procurement. Adding white label products is a way that you can decrease your spend. And if you don't know where to find them, you can go in Method and we can highlight all those white label products for you. And you can see, well, I'm purchasing this name brand item that I can save another $2 and purchase a white label product, and you're getting the exact same thing. So those key things in seeing the data and where you can find that is really important. Another thing I want to point out, we had a new practice start using Method. And after 3 months, we did like a practice snapshot. And we were noticing that they had a really, really high number of orders going out, which to some practices doesn't make that big of a deal. But if you think about, okay, it takes the time to place the order, then I've got to receive the order, then I've got to put it away, then we get a bill for the order, then we need to cross-check the bill with the purchase order, with the receipt, the box receipt, then we need to write a check for it. Like, that gets to be really expensive. And so without understanding, hey, we're spending way too much time and staff time on ordering and ordering doing small orders, they were able to see, okay, we need to cut this back. Method showed them how to do it, and they were able to decrease that number by 10%. And after they started doing that, they were super excited because they noticed how much time it was saving them to place their orders, but then they were getting all of the supplies they needed. So really exciting to get good feedback from our customers.
Yeah.
How many of you recycle? Do you recycle, Spencer?
Yes,
I do
actually.
too.
Yes.
I know some people do, some people don't. Recently I went to a museum that was showing exhibit on recycling, and I recycle, but when you see things like that and see the impact, you're like, geez, I need to do more of that. And sustainability in dental procurement is rising. According to the Green Dentistry magazine, there's a 20% year-over-year increase in demand for eco-friendly dental supplies. Something I didn't know until we did this report.
Yeah.
The benefits is your patients care about that. They care. I care. If I knew my dentist was making efforts to decrease their disposables or purchasing eco-friendly supplies, I might be willing to pay an extra $10 per procedure. That is becoming more and more important to me. And I feel like it's becoming more and more important to other people. And based on the Dentistry magazine report here, it looks like a lot of people are finding that as important. So ideally, 30% of your practice supplies should be your disposables. So I want to pose a question here. How many of the doctors know what that is? What is your disposable supply spend?
Yeah, that is a great question.
Not very many know. It's kind of a hard thing to pull out of all your data. You'd have to go into all of your invoices and then pull them all, compile them all together. And Method saves all that data. We can tell you pretty quickly what that is. And then you can see if you're at 35%, great job. If you're not, let's find a way to decrease the amount of disposables that you're using.
Yeah.
That's something that you can actually put on your website as, we are below the national average on our disposable supplies. We're working to be more and more eco-friendly every day. Patients love that. And that's something, it's literally just tracking a number and making sure that you stay below that number. That could be a huge benefit and a great way to attract patients that's important too.
Yeah.
So if you don't know that number, I recommend reaching out to us. We can help you understand where you're at, how to pull up that number, and potentially help you get some savings in the meantime.
Yeah.
And then last thing I want to point out is it's really important. It's coming up to be important in the not so distant future to create a circular economy. And practices are working with suppliers now to find ways to recycle and reuse materials. So it's a win-win. We're going to have less waste, more efficiency, and in the meantime, maybe create a better environment for everybody around.
Mm. So true.
So, Spencer, I want you to talk through a little bit about how your advisors use data to be strategic.
Yeah. Good question. On basically a quarterly basis, our advisors take any and all data that they can for each client, and this being one of them. And to be able to provide a great analysis on a quarter over quarter or a year over year basis, this data is super helpful, especially when it is a big percentage of your business being, I mean, there is easily a 7% swing here of, are you spending too much, or do you have it like at least the national average for supplies, right? And
Yep.
so it is, so as the conversation is regarding how do the numbers look from an advisor standpoint, talking with each client, the utilization of this data is an asset because it allows us to forecast. It allows us to make business decisions. It helps with potentially carving out different funds for utilizing them for something else, buying new products, etc. So many things, Atia.
Awesome. How recently have your advisors seen procurement data as potentially a strategic asset?
Yeah, always a strategic asset. However, less common that someone is overly organized inside of procurement. And so there is opportunity there. Definitely some opportunity.
I love how you said that. The organization is what's hard. Is like, how do I capture all of this information? Where do I house it? How do I keep it together? What do I do with it? And so that's what a procurement platform is for, is to help you do all of those things with it. So you can use that as an asset. If you start to use your procurement data as an asset, you're going to see it as a strategic function of your practice rather than just a shopping center. A lot of times we get pushback. Well, it's just buying supplies. I mean, if that's how you view it, then you're right. It's not for you. A procurement solution is for somebody who really cares about overall health, wealth, and growth of their business. And that's why working with you guys has been phenomenal for us and for our mutual clients, because they're able to use the data as an asset to make those important strategic decisions. One of those decisions would be building stronger relationships with suppliers, but also negotiating favorable terms for your organization. Technology is a really great way to do that by using a platform that would show you, okay, these are all the prices of this one specific product, and I can get it over here for this amount. I really want to buy it from you. Can you price match that? Or just seeing over time, this specific supplier tends to be cheaper, but I love this other rep. So finding ways to use that data strategically to get exactly what you want out of your practice, out of your products, and having the information to do it. This is where DSOs are using their spending power to get good prices, to negotiate, to even get vendor rebates. And you can use methods, procurement data, to make strategic moves and be competitive, because like to the very beginning of what you said, Spencer, data is power, and you might as well use it.
Yep.
So let's talk about new patient deals. How many of your practices have new patient deals? Is that common?
Yeah. New patient deals, and be specific for me, Atia, new patient deals as in a monthly patient deal that they are running, or onboarding new patients?
How, like a marketing?
Correct. I would say that marketing is always a need inside of dentistry, and that there is definitely some opportunity to increase patient specials or deals.
Yeah. But they're often like, how many times do you get like a flyer in the mail that says, come to
Yes.
my practice, you'll get, x-rays and 4 bite wings and exam for free, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They're all over.
All over.
What's the point? Why are they willing to give away free dentistry?
Yeah.
They want new patients.
Correct.
If we can get those new patients in our practice, they're going to have treatment. We're going to increase our production. We're going to get, they're going to bring their family. They're going to tell their friends. Don't you think your vendors do that too? They're going to give you all kinds of deals and specials to get you in their door. But there's a thing called price creep. Once you're in, they take those prices that were lower and they start to get more and more and more expensive. And it's harder to track that. Understanding where to even find it is hard. So digital platforms are increasing the competition among suppliers, because it's giving the practices and the end users visibility into all of the different prices. So if you work with one vendor and your vendor gives you the best price, even if he says and you swear he does, I would recommend checking that out, because over time, the rep might not even know that the organization has increased pricing. But if you don't watch it, it's absolutely happening. It's just the nature of business. So having that data to maybe use vendors in competition with each other. You're in competition with the guy down the street. Why wouldn't you use procurement or, a pricing platform to your advantage, so that you can decrease your overhead and still get charge the same amount of money for the specific procedures? Like, that just makes sense. So being strategic and using the data to be competitive is also another way that practices use procurement tools. So understanding what vendors you like to use is important. Sometimes we'll have practices that start using our procurement tool, and then they find another vendor that's actually a little bit cheaper and they want to try them out. So they're going to open an account with another supplier and try them out and see how it works. But what we recommend is using about 3 to 4 different vendors, and using those vendors to make sure that you're price shopping and getting the best price. But also, like, for example, I drink a lot of soda. I'm like Diet Coke, and it gets expensive. So I just recently bought myself a soda stream, but I didn't just go to the store and buy a soda stream. I got online and I price shopped, and where can I get it, and who has the best price, and we all do that. And so finding a place to do it is exactly what everyone else is doing in other areas. This is just how you're going to do it in dentistry. If you don't keep track of your prices, though, it's going to creep up. I can't stress enough. Like, I know you have a rep that you love. I know they come into your office and they bring you all the nice things. That's their job. They're doing their job well. But they're not going to pay your bills if the lights are going to get shut off. So make sure that you're taking care of yourself and your bottom line, and make sure that you're price shopping. You don't have to not use them, but just make sure that keep them in competition. Make sure that they know you're using a tool like this. It keeps them competitive,
Yeah,
for lack of a better word.
that's right.
So lastly, I just want to talk through what the key takeaway is here. If you're running a dental practice, you just need to stay ahead of the game. Embracing a procurement platform is going to help you leverage data, focus on sustainability, using technology to turn your data into an asset, and using everything that you can to save time, cut costs, and run your practice more efficiently. So again, Spencer, so glad to be here. If any of your practices want to do a demo, if they want to look into this more, just text my number, 801-828-8737. I can get you over to our sales team and we can get you on a demo very quickly. Also, go on to the Dentist Advisors website, look up method procurement in the partnerships. And on that page, there is a couple different places where you can learn more, and then the savings calculators in there as well. So love to help any of you with any questions, anything else you need. We are here to support you and our partners with Dentist Advisors.
Yeah, Atia, such a great presentation. Thanks so much for joining us today, and looking forward to much more content with you in the future.
Thanks for having me, Spencer.